knew about this school. It is a unique school full of incredibly bright and wonderful kids and very talented teachers. So when I had the opportunity to come here, I came, and I've been enjoying myself ever since, occasionally teaching a little French, as some of you got to experience. That is my field, by the way, French and Italian, Renaissance and medieval literature, actually. But I've worked in school administration for a long time, both at the lower level and at this level. This is such a fascinating and unique place, and your heads are probably bulging at this point with everything that you have experienced in visiting boarding schools in this country. But this one is really different. I mean, we're sitting here in a house. This is a school in a house, and that pretty much captures it. It's deliberately small, because in being small, we really get to know all of our students so well. They get to know us. If we are teachers, we're teaching them more than once. If you're Mrs. Roth, you're going to teach them in 7th grade when they're taking Latin, and then they're going to see you again when they're seniors for AP English, and all along the way. It's a very personal place. It was founded in 1946, so it's a little more than 70 years old. It was founded by 3 men who were Harvard graduates and who had served in World War II together at about the same time. And it was very simple. It was based on a very simple premise. They believed that there was a singular lack of a really good college preparatory boarding school for boys in the Midwestern part of the country. And so they decided we need to have a school like the great ones in the Northeast, in the Midwest. Where to put it? They chose St. Louis for a very basic reason. In addition to its central location, ease of access, it's the cultural history and the richness of the culture that exists now in this city. If you ever look into the history of the city of St. Louis as an American city, it's really very interesting. It's a school, or it's a place, and this school is in the place that is truly central geographically, but culturally, psychologically, intellectually, it really tends to look north and east, but it also looks west and south. It's truly a multi-directional, multi-dimensional place. So the school enrolled bright boys who were headed for college. Most of them went to Harvard back in those days. And then in the 70s, the school decided to join the modern world and admit girls. So it became coeducational, and then subsequently added 7th and 8th grade, which brings us to today, and brings us to our very small school of about 86 students at this point. We could go as high as 100, we feel, but we wouldn't want to go any higher than that, because our size is what enables us to deliver the extraordinary program that we have. This, to me, having spent a good amount of my career at the university level, this feels more like a little college or university than it does a middle and high school. And you know, you've had sort of a preview of what it's like to be a student here and the type of students we have. That's the other piece that I'll just mention before I hand it off to our academic and student leadership. This school it occupies a unique position in the St. Louis school environment. I'm not entirely sure why, but oddly there are more private or independent schools in the St. Louis area, metropolitan area of 2.5 to 3 million people than anywhere else in the United States. We have this long, long tradition of independent and private schooling. Now, many of those schools are religiously affiliated. We are not, we never have been. But there's tremendous educational opportunity here in St. Louis. So we compete very actively with our peer schools for our day population, so we're very local in that respect. But we have something that the rest of them do not have. We are global as well. We can draw our students literally from anywhere in the world, which is why we're so happy you're here. When I gathered with our students in our weekly assembly yesterday, I read the list of countries from which you come, and I wish you could have been there to see their reaction, because it spoke to them. They were very excited about it, because this is who we are. We're like a little global village. We're incredibly proud of that. We have a diversity here that is, in every sense of the word, it's racial, it's religious, it's ethnic, it's national origin, it's all types of diversity that makes this an incredible community. And that's what I think keeps all of us so bonded to this place because it is truly a community of people doing intellectual work, working really hard, having a lot of fun doing it, and being very engaged with their teachers and with each other. So it's that local sort of small St. Louis specific institution, but it's also a school that has a tremendous reach. I like to refer to it as small but mighty, because our graduates go to colleges and universities all over this continent and all over the world, and they do incredibly interesting and wonderful things.